Ramakatha Rasavahini, Prema Sudhamritavahini, Sathya Sanatani Dharma Swarupini, Shanti Pradayini Mokshakarini. Ramakatha Rasavahini, Ramakatha Rasavahini.
To elaborate this error, the father of Rama had 3 wives. The first was such and such, the second was of this nature, the third had these traits. Her maids were of this ugly type. The wars fought by Dasharatha, the father, were characterized by these peculiarities. Those specialities. In this manner, fancy leads man astray into the region of the trivial and the colorful, making him neglect the valuable kernel. People do not realize that the study of history must enrich life and make it meaningful and worthwhile, rather than cater to the appetite for paltry facts and petty ideas. Their validity and value lie deep within the facts and fertilize them like subterranean water. Wear the glasses of bhakti, reverent adoration, and shraddha, steady dedication. Then the eye will endow you with pure wisdom that liberates you and grants eternal bliss.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. I think we had read the Telugu also last week.
We have read it.
Auntie, you had asked about one word. It's Vak Uta.
Yeah, Vakuta.
That means the spring of speech or something like that, I would say.
Uta means the spring.
Yes, I think that's what it is in Telugu.
Vakuta.
So I think we had discussed this already. If anyone would like to discuss or share any of your thoughts on this, we can. Otherwise, we can move on. Okay, so if not, I think Sai Satish, you read the next slide.
Yes, Anna. As men squeeze juice out of the fibrous cane and drink only the sweetness, as the bee sucks the honey in the flower, regardless of its symmetry and color, as the moth flies towards the brightness of the flame, ignoring the heat and the inevitable catastrophe, the sadhaka, spiritual seeker, should yearn to imbibe the karuna rasa, the expression of the emotion of tenderness, pity, and compassion that the Ramayana is saturated with, paying no heed to other subjects. When a fruit is eaten, we throw away the skin, the seeds, and the fiber. It is in the very nature of nature that fruits have these components. Nevertheless, one will eat these on the plea that he has paid for them. No one can swallow the seeds and digest them. No one will chew the outer rind. So, too, in the Rama fruit called Ramayana, the tales of Rakshasas, demons, ogres, and the like form the rind. The wicked deeds of these evil men are the hard, indigestible seeds. Sensory and worldly descriptions and events are the not too tasty fibrous stuff. They are the sheets for the juicy nourishment. Those who seek the karuna rasa in the Rama fruit should concentrate more on the central narrative than on the supplementary details that embellish or encumber them. Encumber it. Listen to the Ramayana in that mood. That is the best form of Shravana, process of spiritual listening.
Okay, thank you very much, Sai Satish. Auntie, we could read the Telugu.
Yeah. Pippini trippi kotti cheruku nandali rasamunu manavulu jurrukonunatala atula.
So just the way human beings squeeze the fibrous flesh of the sugarcane to drink only the sweet juice of the sugarcane.
పుష్పము యొక్క అందచందములు చూడక తుమ్మెద అందలి మధువునే గ్రోలినట్టులా.
Just the way a honey bee does not look at the beauty or other details of the flower, but goes straight to suck the honey from that flower.
అగ్ని ప్రమాదమును యోచించక ప్రకాశముచే ఆకర్షితమై మిడుత దీపమును చేరునట్టులా.
Just the way a moth goes after the light in the fire without paying any heed to the heat or getting burnt.
సాధకులు కావ్యమునందలి కరుణారసమునే లక్ష్యమునందుకొని మిగిలిన విషయములను విసర్జించవలెను.
Just the way the sadhakas or the spiritual aspirants who read the Ramayana could go after the juice of the essence of compassion which is contained in the Ramayana without paying any attention to the other factors.
ఫలమునందలి విత్తనములు తోలు పిప్పి వేరు చేసి రసమునే అందుకొనుట లోక సామాన్యము.
It is the normal practice of human beings to discard the skin, the seed, and other substance in the fruit which are to be thrown away, which are fibrous in it, and drink the juice itself of the fruit. That's a normal tendency of human beings.
తోలు పిప్పి విత్తనములు లేక ఫలముండ జాలదు.
A fruit will always does not exist without the skin, the seed, and other fiber.
ఫలమునకు పైకమిచ్చితిమి అని పైకమిచ్చితిమి కదా అని పైతోలు ఎట్టివారును భుజింపరు.
Just because the skin is there on the fruit, on the exterior, people will not eat the skin.
అలా ఫలమునకు పైకమిచ్చిన పైసా పణం.
And auntie,
if we have paid money for the fruit,
I see.
paikam.
Oh, I see. Just because we are paid for the fruit, we will not eat the seed of the fruit. Okay, thank you.
పైతోలు విత్తనములు మృంగి జీర్ణించుకోలేరు.
They will not be able to swallow the seeds and digest it.
అటులనే రామ ఫలమునందు రాక్షస చరిత్రలు అను తోలును.
So in the same way, in the story of Rama, the incidents related to the Rakshasas or the demons
are like skin.
Are like the skin.
దానవ ప్రవర్తనములు అను విత్తనములు.
The seeds are the actions of these demons.
లౌకిక విషయములను పిప్పి పొరలో.
So the worldly aspects are the fibrous material.
పొరలు తెరలు అరులుగా అందులో కూడి ఉండును.
I don't know how to translate that, Andy. Other
it's a alliteration Swami has used.
Yes, I know.
పొరలు తెరలు అరులు.
So Swami saying that there is unwanted material in the fruit. Has to be gotten rid of.
కరుణారసమునే ఆశించువారు పై వ్యర్థపు విషయ రసములను మనసున చేర్చక చరిత్రను పఠించుట ఉత్తమము.
So for sadhakas who want to study that and who want only the karunarasa, they should not pay attention to these and take them into their head. Without that, if they study, that is the best way to study it.
Yes, that's it.
Thank you very much, Auntie. So Swami is saying that, the it is not possible for us to have a fruit without the seed and skin and other fiber, because they are integral part of the fruit just to maintain the fruit itself so that it's available for us to eat. But we will discard them knowing that they should be thrown away. The same way Swami says certain unnecessary details in the Ramayana, which are there just to give it some body and also to maintain it, should not be dwelt on but should be discarded, and we should only imbibe the essence of compassion. So I will stop here. If anyone would like to discuss any of aspects, please go ahead. As you can see, Swami, general tendency is, because we are used to reading worldly types of stories, novels, and news, we should not use the same attitude and practice of which we accord to the worldly information to the spiritual literature like Ramayana. So Swami is trying to give us various examples of, from the animal kingdom, how they go after the real essence. That is the goal. And I think Swami wants us to have as goal the compassion and the devotion which can be squeezed out of Ramayana. So I'll stop here. Anyone else would like to?
Sai Ram, uncle. This is Rohit. How are you?
Sai Ram, Rohit. Fine.
So I think this, as I read through this page, I think this is one of the most important pages of this book, because Swami in this page has given us the instructions as to how to read through the rest of the book. I think this is like the key, how when you're going through different puzzles, and each puzzle, if all the puzzles have like one key which can unlock them. So this is that page. This is the glass through which we have to look at the entire Ramayana, because there'll be various aspects of it which are all described here. As Swami says, sometimes there'll be stories of Rakshasas, sometimes there'll be stories of, it was in the previous page about how the family life or the family of Lord Rama was, and there'll be other stuff, other stories as well. So we must pick and choose as to how to understand them, and this here is the formula as to how to understand them. I think very important page, this one.
Yes, Rohit. Yes, very much so. Because Swami wants us to really benefit from studying this. Yes. Anyone else would like to share anything?
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, auntie.
The example of moth flying towards the brightness of the flame, and it is ready to sacrifice its own life. So also a sadhaka should be ready to face any kind of challenges which come, and his goal should not be forgotten. That's what I think the analogy of moth is given here. I hope I've understood properly.
Very nice, auntie. Yes, because even now, not only there's that's in the book, there are other distractions which will keep us away from reading Ramakatha. That's also another thing. There are other worldly distractions, not only in the book, but even otherwise also distract us often. So I think one who is intent or keen in tasting the Rama Rasa, the Karuna Rasa of Rama, I think Swami is paying attention there also.
Yeah.
So, uncle, what would you say is the goal? Like how Auntie was just saying, we have to stick to the goal, like the moth, like just keep looking at that light. So what? How would we describe our goal here? Why are we doing this? After reading this page, what would we say? What is the main goal here?
Very good question, Rohit. Anyone would like to share, please? Because all of you are taking time and regularly attending. So if you can share what you have set as a goal, that will be very nice. What should be the goal of us? We should have in our own heart and mind.
Anna, I will. Even as we talk about the goal of the heart and the mind. I was just trying to extrapolate this same message, because I think it's not only about reading Ramakatha Rasavahini with this attitude, it is about leading one's life itself with this attitude. Because in our life, again, we can meet people or have situations in our life which go south, but everything that we encounter in our day-to-day life and living, if we always go only for the juice of what that is coming to teach, or what Swami has in it for us, putting aside the rest of the skin and the seeds and all of that fibrous thing, and always stay with the juice, I think that itself is a beautiful way to live life. Again, going back to looking at the moon, the first thing that comes in the moon are the dark spots rather than the beauty of the moon itself. Or in the attitude of what Radha essenced, even when her sister Chandrika was troubling her, she would say, "Krishna, you are troubling me. Why are you troubling me?" So I think if we can learn to read this Ramayana story in the manner told by Bhagawan here, and see if we can learn it with applying it to reading the story and extend it to other parts of our life as such, then I think the sweetness of Rama's story will not just get limited to reading the Ramakatha Rasavahini, but our life itself would become sweet. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Anyone else would like to share your thoughts, please?
Sai Ram, in my understanding, I am thinking that what Swami is trying to teach us, or maybe say for an example, Swami, as nicely mentioned by other brothers, the orange or something is equivalent to equivalent to the
Fruit.
explain. The fruit is taken as an example to explain this particular the passage and the meaning. So Swami is, I am trying to understand myself. Is Swami is trying to tell us that maybe if you want to enjoy the essence or maybe the juice of the fruit, the skin and the seeds and the maybe fiber and all those things, are they attachment to our life? It could, in our worldly life or family life, are these the kind of, maybe it could be a the family members or maybe other attachments. Swami is trying to tell us if we really want to enjoy the essence of the fruit, we should detach ourselves from these worldly attachments, or maybe I want to clarify that part, why Swami has taken this example at this point in time, whether whether maybe right in there, in this particular line, Swami is telling that if you detach yourself from those things, then only you can quickly move to your destination or something. Maybe that's the reason I am trying to understand myself, why Swami has taken this example at this point in time, at the very beginning of this Vahini.
Thank you very much, sister. I think very nice points you have mentioned. It's all not only the Rama, how we study Ramayana, how we study our own life, which is also a Ramayana.
Exactly,
Sai
brother.
Ramayana. Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to? I think sister asked the question and answered it also. But anyone else would like to comment or
So the
share
question
anything?
is, how do we identify the bitter cover, and not only in the Ramayana, but even Swami is saying even in our lives generally, how if we are craving for success or happiness, and if we compare it to a sweet fruit such as, an apple or an orange, but the cover of that is bitter. So that means would it be fair to say that first we have to go through that some kind of bitterness to get through that sweetness, or can we reach the sweetness directly?
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone would like to, respond to what Brother Rohit has brought? So he says, isn't bitterness part of life? And how do we go through that? That's the question. Anyone would like to say?
Sai Ram, brother, is it about the developing the equanimity that to take both the bitterness and sweetness in more of a neutral aspect? Or not just.
Thank you very much, sister. So Sister Vani is saying that we could always develop some equanimity, even the sweetness or the things which are bitter as well as which are sweet. Should we treat them equally? I think that's what she's saying. What do you say, Rohit?
Arna, yeah, maybe after Rohit. Rohit, you can.
Okay, I don't know
Yeah.
Rohit.
Yeah, so, sorry, brother. So no, I was just reading through this one. So in one of the summer courses in Brindavan in 1972, Swami had said, and I'm quoting Swami here. Swami said, "Man cannot decide for himself the difference between joy and sorrow. It is not possible for us to have joy without sorrow or sorrow without joy. We must develop the attitude that all sorrows lead to happiness and that all happiness leads to sorrow, because man cannot choose for himself only joy or only sorrow." So, is this directly related to this, that we cannot choose between joy and sorrow? That if we desire joy, you are also desiring sorrow, and if you come across sorrow, that means there is also happiness somewhere nearby. That means, is it safe to say that the bitterness of the skin of the orange and the sweetness of the orange is inseparable? So it doesn't matter whether you like it or not, you're gonna get the whole package. Would that be safe to say that?
So then what are we going after?
That's the question.
So anyway, Sai Satish, I think, had something to say.
Sai Ram, so it's summertime, so I'm going for mango rather than apple or orange. And I think mango, again, the peel and the seed and all are a little big, but the pulp is. So why I'm saying this is, I think Swami had in one of the interactions with the students, Swami had literally said, had walked down the path of how a car is driven, especially a car with a gearbox has all of this gears that you need to navigate. So Swami was just asking this boy, how do you drive the car? And then saying that even as you change gears, you press the clutch. And every time you have to, so Swami is telling if you have to change, if you have to go back, what do you do? He said, the boy says, Swami, use the reverse gear. And then if you have to go forward again, you start using gear 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Swami says, what do you do when you change gears? And then Swami himself says, you apply the clutch. And every time you apply the clutch and then change the gear, so then you move on to the next speed or however we drive the car. And what Swami says, applying the clutch is whatever happens is good for me. Whatever happens is good for me. And so every situation in life, yes, the mango will come with its peel, it will come with its seed, it will come with the fibrous materials, but it also has the pulp. And that is where everything that is coming from Swami is Swami's prasadam for me. Whatever happens is good for me. If I stay with that sweetness of, like, because again, the same thing, if I'm not in a position to understand the love of a single mother, then what in essence happens for 1,000 mothers? That is the Karuna Rasa, again, which has all of the prema and anugraha, everything built into it. So time and again, it is anything that happens in my life, am I able to look at it that this is coming as a prasadam from Swami and stay with that sweetness, that whatever happens is good for me. If I stay with that, then rest of the skin, the seed, anyway it's packaged, but I'm no longer worried or bogged down by it, because I know that I have to drop all of that and go with just the sweetness of that pulp. So if I can essence it by saying that Swami is always with me, like Swami would say, I'm in you, with you, above you, below you, around you. If I can essence it and say that because of all of that and whatever is coming from that is coming from that state of complete karuna, then I am in a state of acceptance. Then whatever comes along with it, whether it is pleasure, pain, sorrow, success, defeat, all of that, that kind of an attitude, it doesn't really pull us down, because we know it is coming from Swami. And when it is coming from Swami, it will be for our good only. It will be for our best. So we have to go with that. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please?
Sai Ram, brother. So I have a doubt. So just because we love Swami, can we just say whatever happens in our life is his prasadam? Or he also says, use the discrimination, right? Sometimes we may have not used it, and then, or we may have not put in so much effort in doing something, and then can we just say because of that, whatever comes our way is Swami's prasadam? Or is it just because of our ignorance things happen? Sarah.
Thank you very much, sister. So, sister is asking a question. Can we be just complacent and say, okay, it's all Swami's prasadam? Or is there something which we should do using our discrimination? So that was sister's question. Anyone would like to share any thoughts?
Actually, if you think about it, Uncle, isn't that like if we become complacent, that means we have given in to the sorrow part of it, isn't it? Like if there is sorrow, if suddenly, let's say tomorrow, somebody wants to get a degree, right? Like somebody starts college and then suddenly sees that there's a lot of homework. So that person is like, so psychologically, that person might be like, you know what, I don't want to do all the hard work. I don't want to do all the homework. I'm just gonna sit here. Swami is gonna give me the degree. So now we are twisting that what Swami said about surrender and not willing to do that hard work, which is we're not willing to detach from the pain that comes from doing the hard work in pursuit of the sweetness. So, like brother was mentioning a while ago, that clutch of whatever happens is good for me. So instead of taking the homework and the hard work as, oh, this is good for me, Swami wants this for me, we are instead trying to avoid that and using twisting Swami's meaning for something else. So I think that effort is and the disappointments are all part of the process, but we have to keep eye on the goal, because Swami said life is a game, play it, right? So we have to play the game fully, can't avoid that. Sarah.
Okay, thank you, brothers. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please?
Sai Ram, Anna, I just going back to the Karuna Rasa, what I think that when our heart is full of Karuna Rasa, in that case, we are having a compassion towards everyone, whomever it's worldly matter, in the sense like animals and all human beings and all beings. When we have a Karuna Rasa, we cultivate the tolerance. And once we cultivate the tolerance, we tend to have being more compassionate in that case, and also the bitterness, the suffering, we don't feel it that way. So when you have the tolerance, I don't think that we feel that much bitterness. Then it is all sweetness, because we are in the same kind of a same platform in the sense. If you know what I mean. If that makes sense.
Yes. Thank you, Bina. So Sister Bina says, let's go for the Karuna Rasa and not worry about the rest. I guess. Anyone else would like to share?
Sai Ram. Oh.
Yeah, yes, please go ahead. Ravadana?
Oh, yes, Sai Ram. So, just the thought that came to my mind as we were discussing fruits and duty to perform and all that. The other analogy that where fruits was used may tie into this, where in the Bhagavad Gita, it said that you have the right to perform your duty, but not to the fruits of your labor. And I would draw similarities to the conversations that we had previously, where somebody mentioned, are we complacent, where we just say, I'm not going to do my homework and just expect whatever happens, that is the best for me. So that's what came to my mind.
Thank you, Vadan.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Aunty, please go ahead.
That Rohit brother was asking about the goal. Let us come back to that. Here, the goal of reading Ramayana is to know about the Ramatattva, the principle of Rama. That is why we are reading. That's the goal of our life. No doubt, in spite of all the distractions, like the moth knows that it's going to die. We know that we are going to face all the distractions of this world, but still we will concentrate on the fact that, we have to know about the Rama Tattva and read Ramayana. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Aunty. Yes, Sister Vani, please go ahead.
Sai Ram. So going back to Sister Brinda's question about how we are to approach it, I was just going to say, Viveka and Vairagya are two important things in spiritual advancement. So when we are thinking if everything is Swami's prasadam, if we use those two things, Viveka and Vairagya, we will get to understand what the real, whether it's sweetness or bitterness, we will be able to understand what the real essence of that. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you very much, Sister. Anyone else?
Sai Ram, all.
Yes, Shankar.
To add to Mani Auntie's response to Rohit, I think reading Ramakatha Rasavahini is Rama himself saying why he acted he responded to situations in such a way, and asking us to reflect on our life when we encounter those situations. I think that is why the beauty of Ramakatha Rasavahini is that. Otherwise, we could have read Kamba Ramayana or any other Ramayana, but here Rama himself is saying why he acted in a specific way, and that's why the beauty of Ramakatha Rasavahini, that is the goal we need to understand. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you very much, Anna. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so maybe I will just...
Yeah.
Sai Ram, you have something to say?
No. I wanted you to speak about it.
So I will. I think a few questions were asked. So different people have shared some thoughts. I will just summarize and maybe add my 2 cents also. See, I think so. Let's start with I think Brother Rohit. I think others added also. See, when the bee goes after the honey, It is not just going after the sweetness alone. The sweetness is just an indicator of something which is nourishing for the bee. Same way, when we go after the Karuna Rasa or Rama principle, that is nothing to do with pleasure or pain, joy or sorrow, because the joy or sorrow actually relates to the world, and there it can be sometimes joy, sometimes sorrow. But we have to look past both of them. From a worldly, only from a Laukika perspective, we have this joy or sorrow. For example, Rama got coronated, so we don't need to feel happy about it. Rama didn't get coronated, we don't need to feel sad about it. So those are, even Rama was unaffected by that. That's what in his own life he showed. You are not supposed to, you have to be coronated. He was ready to be coronated. He says you had to go to the forest. He just went to the forest. There was absolutely no effect on him, because that principle of not being affected by the worldly ups and downs is what Rama stood for. So the thing is, as Mani Auntie also said, that's the Rama principle, and that's what Sister Beena said, that is the Karuna Rasa. So we should go after that. There are sometimes pleasurable incidents, there are painful incidents, Ramayana we will see. But through all these, we should actually go after what is nourishing to us. And that which nourishes us as something long-term, the real goal of our own birth. And to go back to what Sister Brinda was saying, in terms of complacency, I think others have karmanyevadhikarasya ma phaleshu kadachana. Krishna has said, you have to focus on your work. The fruits, just don't go after them. The fruits can vary in. I think so. I think the most important thing is that we have to do what is right. But the problem is sometimes we use our discrimination for worldly benefit purposes. This will bring me pleasure. This will bring me pain. And though sometimes we think something is going to give me pleasure, initially it may give pleasure, then it may turn painful. Something may be painful today, it may become beneficial or pleasurable. But these all relate to the world. And if we are to use our discrimination, as Sister Vani said, Viveka and Vairagya, the Viveka should be used only to develop Vairagya. That means what is permanent, what is not permanent, what is worldly, what is spiritual. Ultimately, the goal is to progress spiritually, which will give us peace of mind to face everything with an equanimous state of mind, which is what Rama embodied, because he was so consumed by Karuna Rasa that nothing affected him from a worldly perspective. So some of the things were painful, some of the things were pleasurable. He was unaffected. So I think that is the goal. And then I think another question Rohit asked was, why should we read? He was quoting from 1972 summer course. Recently, I was doing some research, and I came across a discourse which I had long ago read. Then I searched and I found that. In that, Swami is telling in life, there's something called Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Shravana is what we are doing, reading, listening, discussing, and trying to assimilate and acquire the knowledge. Then Manana is we have to repeatedly bring to mind again and again, recollect. Then Nididhyasana is to put it to practice. But Swami says, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, all three are important. Apparently, Hanuman realized this when he went to Lanka. What happened when Hanuman went to Lanka, he searched, and at last he found Sita. Sita was continuously remembering Rama. So she was doing Manana. She was also doing Nididhyasana. She put it into practice. How a Pativrata should live, that also she was doing. However, she was immersed in sorrow. Hanuman says the problem was she did not have Shravana, because she was not hearing anyone talk about Rama. She was thinking of Rama again and again, continuously, 24/7. She was living the way Rama would expect her to live. However, she was not able to lose Shravanam. Because of that, she was sad. So throughout her stay, the first day she became happy was when Hanuman chanted Ramanama. And when Hanuman went and spoke about Rama, Sita just changed. So Shravana, in that discourse of Swami say, Shravanam is equally important. Mananam and Nidityasanam, even if you do, Shravanam is very, very important, because that is also needed to grant us the joy of being in the proximity of the Lord. So the reason we are studying Ramakatha Rasavahini is, in the absence of Swami's physical presence, his words are him. That's what he has left. And his words, nothing will come close to his words. And the opportunity to read and discuss and ponder over that is the Shravanam exercise we are doing. And hopefully that will take us to Mananam and also Nidityasanam. So I hope it was very nice to share. A good discussion, because before we launch into the story, Swami is preparing us so that, as Rohit said, he's giving us a formula to get the maximum benefit out of this Ramakatha Rasavahini, and squeeze the juice and drink it, so that we will also get some aspects or qualities of Rama in our own self. So with that, I will stop. A very wonderful discussion, and everyone contributed very nicely. If anyone else has something to say, we can discuss, or we can move on. So that's why, as you can see, the Swami just entered it. That is the best form of Shravana, process of spiritual listening, Swami says. Sai Ram. Okay. We can go to the next slide if it's okay.
Yeah.
On one occasion, Emperor Parikshit fell at the feet of sage Sukha and asked for instruction on one point that was causing him dire doubt. Master, one riddle has been worrying me since long. I know that you can solve it for me, and that no one else can. I have listened to the narratives of the lives of my forefathers from the earliest, the great Manu, down to those of my grandfathers and father. I have studied these stories with care. I observe that in the history of every one of these, there is mention of sages, rishis attached to the monarch, some learned scholar, saints who are members of the court, attending darbars and sharing the business of government. What is the real meaning of this amazing association of scholars who have renounced all attachments and desires, who have realized that the world is a shadow and a snare, and that the One is the only reality, with kings and rulers playing subordinate roles and counseling them when asked? Those revered elders will not, I know, engage themselves in any activity without sufficient and proper reasons. Their behavior will ever be pure and unsullied. But this makes my doubt unsolvable. Please enlighten me.
Thank you very much, Sasadesh. Sai Ram TV, can we read?
ఒకానొక సమయమున పరీక్షిత్ మహారాజు శుకునకు నమస్కరించి, స్వామి, చాలా కాలము నుండి నన్నొక సంశయము పీడించుచున్నది.
At one point, King Parikshit, he bowed down to Sukha Maharshi and said, "Oh Swami, for a long time, there is one doubt which has been bothering me."
దానిని తమరు తప్ప అన్యులు తీర్చలేరనియు నాకు తెలుసు.
That doubt can be cannot be cleared by anyone else except you is known to me.
తమరు వేరుగా తలంచక ఈ దాసుని సంశయమును నిర్మూలము గావించుడు.
So please do not mistake and take please remove this doubt in my head and destroy it.
అది ఏమనా, నేను మా వంశీయులలో ప్రప్రథమ నాయకుడైన మనువు మొదలు నేటి మా తాత తండ్రులు చరిత్రల వరకును వెంటిని పఠించి తిని.
So I have studied the story or history of our own lineage, starting from Manu and my grandfathers and fathers and their stories. I have listened and I have studied.
ఎవరి చరిత్రల యందు చూచినను ఏదో ఒక మహర్షి రాజులను ఆశ్రయించి ఇండుటయును.
In each person's story, some rishi or other, maharishi or other, has remained close to the king.
మహాజ్ఞాన వృద్ధులైన పండితులు రాజాజ్ఞల్లో వార్ల దర్బారులలో కూడి వందుతను చేరి ఉండును.
So there are such great jnanis and also scholars who have been participating in the administration of the kingdom and was in the court of the kings.
సర్వసంగ పరిత్యాగులైన ఋషులను లోకము మిథ్యము బ్రహ్మ సత్యము అని గుర్తించిన పండితులను.
So the great rishis who have given up and renounced everything, and they have the understanding that the world is unreal and only the Brahman is truth. Even such scholars,
రాజులను ఆశ్రయించుటలో గల అంతరార్థమేమియో.
what is the inner significance of such people coming close to and being with kings?
కారణము లేని కార్యము పెద్దలు తలంచరు చరించరు.
So great people will not take up any activity without any reason.
ఈ సంశయమును తీర్చి నన్ను ధన్యును గావింపుడు.
Please remove this doubt of mine and make me blessed.
That's it.
Thank you, Auntie. So it's a typical question which bothers many people, how come rishis and, people who are spiritual, why do they have company with the kings and their political or, administration of the kingdoms? Don't these rishis have anything better to do? Aren't they wasting their time with such people? I think that's a question which Parikshit is asking. So our Swami is giving us some, as Shankarana said, Swami is trying to give us the inner significance through this question of Parikshit to Sukha Maharshi, so that we will have the right frame of mind and perspective when we are studying. Anyone who would like to comment or discuss any of these points, the question which Sukha Maharshi asked, Parikshit asked the Sukha Maharshi.
Sai Ram, uncle.
Yes.
If no one is saying, I'd like to add a couple of thoughts. I think this is a big prevailing problem that is there in today's world, and which is why the avatar has to come down again and again, is to show is because people are not able to balance spirituality and the worldly life, and they always separate the two. I think it was Professor Bhagya to whom Swami had said once, like, if you identify, this is worldly, this is spiritual, even in 1,000 lifetimes, I won't give you mukti, So I think we have the rishis, the way they used to involve themselves in the everyday lives of the people, of the king, of the kingdom, was because of the welfare of the their advice used to be taken by the kings, such as, Sage Vashishta and Sage Vishwamitra were actively involved in the, as we'll read through the Ramayana, in the Kosala kingdom, and Vashishta was the family preceptor of the family of Lord Rama and King Dasharatha. So they 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 showed like how you have to balance, even being spiritual, you still have to be in the society, right? Heads in the forest, hands in the society. Swami built a hospital, Swami built educational institutions. Right now also, when we went to our pilgrimage in December, we were kept so comfortably, right, in the ashram. Nobody told us that, oh, you have come to Swami's place, you must forego all kinds of comfort and just go sleep on the street of Puttaparthi. Doesn't matter if you have come from Canada or where it do you. No, there has to be, you have to follow the ways of the society and then live accordingly. That's why, and Swami has shown us the way. So I think the answer to this question is, rishis were also doing the same thing, where they were in the society and helping the society instead of completely alienating them. I think that's what I understood. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sohit. You have sort of dwelt on the answer itself. But anyway, thank you. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts? I think if not, because it's a straightforward question, maybe we'll read the answer and then discuss. Sai Satish, maybe you should read the next section.
Sukha laughed at the question. He replied, "You have asked a fine question, no doubt. Listen, the great sages and holy scholars will always be eager to share with their fellow men the truth they have grasped, the sanctifying experience they have won, the elevating deeds they have been privileged to perform, and the divine grace they have been chosen to receive. They seek nearness to those who are in charge of administration, those who are adepts in ruling over people, with the intention to use them as instruments for establishing and ensuring peace and prosperity on earth. They implant high ideals in their minds and the holy ways of fulfilling them. They prompt the performance of righteous actions in accordance with just laws. The monarchs too invite and welcome the sages, seek out the scholars and plead with them to be in their courts, so that they can learn from them the art of government and act according to their counsel. The monarch was the master and guardian of the people. So they spend their days with him for the estimable purpose of realizing through him the yearning of their hearts. Lokas samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the worlds be happy. They were eager to see happiness and peace spread over the world. Therefore, they tried to equip the kings with all the virtues, fill them with all the moral codes of discipline, arm them with all branches of learning, so that they may rule the realm efficiently, wisely, and with beneficial consequences to themselves and their subjects.
Thank you, Sai Satish. Auntie, shall we read the Telugu?
Yeah. So, 1 minute. శుకుడు నవ్వి, రాజా, సరైన ప్రశ్న గావించితివి.
The Sukha Maharshi laughed and said, "O king, you have asked a very good question."
వినుము, మహనీయులైన ఋషులు, పవిత్రులైన పండితులు, నిజమైన లోకపాలకులు తాము గ్రహించిన సత్యములను, ఆచరించిన పవిత్ర కర్మలను, అందుకున్న దైవానుగ్రహమును తోటి. This is a long sentence. Sorry. I will just. మహనీయులైన ఋషులు, పవిత్రులైన పండితులు, నిజమైన లోకపాలకులు.
So the great rishis and the scholars who are divine or pure. And they are the real protectors of the world.
తాము గ్రహించిన సత్యములను ఆచరించిన పవిత్ర కర్మలను,
whatever truths they have grasped and all the sacred actions which they have practiced,
అందుకున్న దైవానుగ్రహమును తోటి మానవులకు అందించి,
the grace of God which they were able to receive to share it with the human beings,
లోక సుఖశాంతులు చేకూర్చవలెనను వాంఛతో,
to bring about peace and prosperity for the entire world with that wish,
పరిపాలనా దక్షులకు రాజుల చెంత చేరి,
the people who are skilled in ruling the ruling the earth, such kings, they reach them.
రాజుల కిట్టి ఉత్తమ మార్గముల చిత్తములందు చేర్చి,
they instruct the kings and bring to their heart the real supreme path.
శాసన రీతిగా జనరంజకమగు ధర్మ కర్మలను నియమించుచుండిరి.
They establish the code of conduct and rules for dharma karmas.
ఆనాటి రాజులే మహారుషులను ఆహ్వానించి
the kings of those days, they themselves invite the rishis.
పండితులను పిలిపించి,
they call on the scholars.
రాజనీతిని తెలుసుకొని,
they learn the principles of ruling.
Rulers, రాజనీతి. తెలుసుకొని దానికి తగినట్లు శాసనములు నియమించిండివారు.
They also establish laws accordingly.
ప్రజలకు ప్రభువే ప్రధాన రక్షకుడు.
For citizens, the king is the primary protector.
ఆగుటచే ప్రభువు సర్వగుణ సంపన్నుడై,
because because of that role, they should develop all the good qualities.
సర్వధర్మ పరాయణుడై,
they learn all the dharmas.
సమస్త విద్యా పారంగతుడై,
they learn all the fields of knowledge.
అట్లుండిన ప్రజల యొక్క యోగక్షేమములను,
if they are such kings, then the welfare of the citizens,
పరిపాలనా విధానమును,
and the practice of ruling,
సక్రమమైన మార్గమున,
that will go along the right path,
సలుపగలరు అనియును,
because then they will be able to conduct themselves in that manner.
లోక సుఖ శాంతులను ఆశించి,
so desiring the happiness and the peace of the entire world,
లోకా సమస్త సుఖినో భవంతు అను లక్ష్యముతో
with the goal of bringing about happiness for the entire all the worlds. With that goal, the king,
they used to approach,
they used to reach, they used to join the kings.
ఇంతే కాదు,
not only that,
జన సుఖదాయకుడు గోలోకవాసుడు. I think he has not read it.
I think that's all, auntie.
That's all.
Thank you. So Sai Ram, everyone. So Swami Sukamarshi is nicely explaining what the intentions and the wishes of these rishis who come and join and work with the kings. So I'll stop here if anyone would like to discuss any point.
As it is said, Yatha Raja Tata Praja. So the kings had to be well groomed for the sake of governing their country, so that if the king is good, the praja, the subjects will also be happy and healthy. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Thank you, Auntie. So the rishis want to, because they feel that the impact on the society will be great if the king is set right. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please?
Sai Ram, when I look at this one, those days, it is very, very interesting. These sages, they have taken two very important departments in a country, education department and the defense department. When we look at the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, they have taken a very key role in those ones. I just thought about how great these the epics are, and that's the reason maybe these stories would have brought into at this stage to tell us not only the maybe the worldly knowledge, the spiritual knowledge also are the knowledge are required to keep a country safe and rich in all perspectives. I just thought very, very interesting. And also the one little clarification, Brother Shankar indicated that Kamba Ramayanam and this one is little different. On what perspective it is different?
So, Brother Shankar, you want to comment on this question? I think it's posed to you. Unless other, yes.
No, I think what I meant here was reading Ramakatha Rasavahini by Swami is directly told by Rama to us. Kamba Ramayana is something which Kamban wrote on Rama. So that is the difference what I was meaning.
Thank you very much, Shankar. So I think, sister, what he says is there may be some limitations when a second person looks at the story of Rama and tells, compared to Rama himself coming and telling the story. And so not only that, he'll be able to give us insight into many things which others may have missed in pointing out.
Now I got, because this is the first-hand experience,
Yes.
The other one is the second-hand, or their own interpretation and the experience. Great, yes. Thank you both brothers. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sai Ram.
Yes, Sai Satish.
Two aspects based on what Sister Anandi mentioned. It's very interesting with point one about education and defense, because one is for the external enemies, another is for the internal enemies. So the education, knowledge leading to wisdom takes care of the inner enemies on the internal world. And the translation applications of that can be manifested on the external, and that can take care of the external defense. So that way, it's just the flipping of the where it is operationalized, whether on the internal realm or external realm. That is one. And second point, again the same thing, what was mentioned. The same aspects, like how we say Valmiki is Ramayana is man looking at God, or man looking at man, in fact, because Rama was a contemporary, it is man looking at man. Kamba Ramayana is man looking at God, and Ramakatha Rasavahini is God looking at God. And on that note, it is very, very interesting that when Jayadeva wrote Gita Govindam, or we have few other compositions where I think Jayadeva in one of the things he stuck in writing, his work, and even as that part is to be written, the Lord himself comes and writes the verse I forget whether it is Jayadeva or another work where the description of the heavens is there, and then he's stuck in not able to describe it, and the Lord comes and describes. That is one aspect. And second is, I think, second work is where it's the description of where Radha Devi keeps her foot literally on Lord Krishna's head. So I think Tava Pada Pankajam Mama Shirasi Mandalam, that kind of a work, and then the Lord comes and completes it. So the essence is, in those kind of works, I think a few lines was written by the Lord, and so the reverence of that is very, very high esteem, because the Lord came and had written few lines. Here the Lord has written the entire book. And it's not one line, few paragraphs. It is from the start to finish. Every Vahini has been written by the Lord with so much love and patience. And the way he has written it, also in the circumstances that he has written it, where certain things Swami had to literally write it in the washroom with a close to 0-watt bulb, so that devotees would not be disturbed on the outside, and every time Swami puts on the light, people come and start waiting for darshan. So ensuring that nobody is disturbed, sitting in that condition, writing the Vahini year after year, then it just brings about with what reverence these have to be kept with in the omnipresence of Swami. This is verily the Swami that we can enjoy. So just wanted to add that. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Anyone else has something to add? Maybe, with 6:13, maybe I'll just summarize and we can continue this discussion. See, Swami is bringing about the Karuna Rasa of the sages. The sages who don't have to come to the world, but they come down and help the kings and the subjects. It also points to the Karuna Rasa of Rama. Rama, who came down, took the avatar and lived as a human being. That is the ultimate Karuna Rasa. It also points to the Karuna Rasa which Swami has showed. He came down and he played with the students, he played with everyone and did things. Why should the Lord do? It's only one goal: put everyone in the right path, bring about peace and happiness to everyone. So he struggled, at the human level, his Swami struggled to somehow put these good thoughts into our head. And, and the work which is left is still continuing to do the same work. That is also Karuna Rasa. So Swami is just giving us a glimpse, because, everything which we read, we should look for the Karuna Rasa. And so the sages also showed the Karuna Rasa, and the Lord showed much beyond that. Why should he come and spend time with insignificant things amongst us? Why should he even build a hospital to teach the doctors how they should serve? How did these? Because he doesn't need to do it. It's just an example, an education process for people to know how you should be a doctor, how you should be a teacher, what should be the curriculum. So many things Swami has taught. That's all is Karuna Rasa. So reading this itself, also tasting the Karuna Rasa which is flowing from Swami. And we thank Swami for giving us this opportunity and keep us with the steady Shraddha to continue this journey of tasting the nectar of Ramakatha Rasa. So with those words, we will close for today, and we'll again meet next Friday. Sai Ram, everyone. We'll close with Samasta Loka prayer. Om Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sai Ram, everyone.
Sai Ram.
Oh, thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you.